I know what you're thinking looking at the camera or this video, and you're probably like, Shirit is dark? Nah, Shirit's not dark. I'm Master Swag King. Let's go. Thanks, buddy, for the guest upload. Cue the intro! Hey guys, I'm not Shirit, Strategist of Necros. I'm actually Master Swag King, and thanks, buddy, for letting me do this guest upload. And if you guys don't know me, I do Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels, deck profiles, discussions. I'm working on replays. I have a bunch of new segments on the channel as well. I have a series called Reflections where I basically talk to people about Yu-Gi-Oh! It is a playlist on my channel if you check it out now. I also do superhero videos once a week, so if you like superhero knowledge and the new movies and you want to talk about them, I will talk about them once a week. Now, getting into the topic of the video. The topic of the video is actually, can you make money off your reprints? Yes, you can. There is money in making reprints. You can. It's very possible, but you got to do it very strategically, and I'm going to give you guys basically all the things that don't get said, but there's no really need to say it because it's right in front of you. It actually is. Okay, so before I actually go over how my point is relevant to this topic on how you can actually make money with your reprints, you have to understand it depends on what reprints we get at the time and if it is relevant then or later depending on what decks we get. That could be the difference between like the OCG and the TCG, all kind of things like that matter, but I'm going to be giving you guys 3 different distinct examples as to the reason why you can make money off your reprints and possibly make money off your reprints in the future with the Megatons. Now, before I get to the actual card numbers and everything, I do want to say something. Now, generally in life, not everyone, not saying everyone, people will almost always likely go to the cheapest thing. They don't like to admit that, they don't like to say that. But if you're on a budget and you don't have much money like a lot of players do, a lot of the players do not buy. Okay, so Ghost Ogre is an example of this. A lot of players don't go and buy this because they see it, they don't see it generally for that price. They might not agree with it, or they just don't have the money to buy a high expensive version of Ghost Ogre. And then you have the ulti. Not a lot of people are gonna be able to get the ulti due to money issues. Now, the reason why I can say people will go to this version because it's cheaper, more accessible, and that's where the drive goes to raise its price up. But I'll be getting all into that right now. Okay, so back to the point of things going up. Generally, if things are, high and there's a cheaper version out, people will go buy the cheaper version. But how do you make money off the cheaper version? You would ask. The average person would ask this. You would just raise the price of a cheaper thing. You see what I'm saying? So basically, let's say if you go to a Stater Brothers, right? If you live in the US, we have Stater Brothers here, right? They sell Nestle ice cream sandwiches that retail for about like $10, right? If you don't have $10 to buy those ice cream sandwiches, you can buy the store-bought ice cream sandwiches for $6 and basically get the same thing. Now, there's a reason why that's in place, because generally most people will go to the cheaper stuff because they realize it is the exact same thing. And with ice cream sandwiches, the reason why I mentioned that as an example is because it's the same. They taste literally the same. Same thing goes with cards. I'll give you another example. Why do you think there's 99-cent stores? Because it's cheaper stuff people can more accessibly get without going to like a Walmart or a Food for Less and paying out lavish prices for like soap and shampoo and all kinds of things. And there's a reason why this correlates back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, let's look at Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit just for an example, just for the first example, and how you can pretty much, if you had this when it was first released as a Tin Super, not the secret version, because we know the secret version got released first, but when it got reprinted, basically, not counting the gold version, basically when I got reprinted as this is where you could have made money from. And you can still make money off reprints in the future, but I'm just using this as an example to help better further you going forward. Now, when this got confirmed as a super, This card right here, the premium gold version, was a solid 10. It's always been a solid 10. Its lowest has been like 8. That doesn't matter. This secret right here was like 40 bucks. So the super gets confirmed. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, we're going to have Ghost Ogre. It's not that good right now. And, you know, obviously they unload every Ghost Ogre. In comes Zoo. Now, the reason why you could have made money off Ghost Ogre is because Ghost Ogre is a good reprint. The reason why people don't generally make money off their reprints, the people that don't know how to usually do what I do, is because they pick up bad reprint cards. They're picking up cards like Pot of Riches. Not Pot of Riches. Pot of Riches? Yeah, the one for pendulums. Pot of Riches. They're picking up cards like Rune-Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Like, no, you can't pick up those cards and make money off those. You got to make money off this. This is where your money should be going, is reprints like these. Now, this promo was $2 lowest. $2. Zoo comes into the picture. It goes up. It goes up. And you guys know, you've seen it. It hit a solid 5. Then it hit a solid 7. Then it goes down to 5. Because people realize, oh, it's not that good. Because then we got Ash, right? Now, people realize that Ash wasn't as good. Look at this right here. It went back up. So, simply just getting these super ogres and just keeping them would have made you money. I'll reference back to the first point I made. You have to pick up meta-relevant reprints to actually make money. This was $2. It was. I bought so many of those Kaiba tins to get these. Like, it was insane. I had at least 6 ogres. I have 3 now because I've obviously traded and sold them along the way. But that's the reason why I got so many of those tins, because generally, this was a reprint card, which is more accessible, and people are naturally going to go to this because it's a cheaper version. And how do you make money off the cheaper version? It has to go up because even though there's more supply of it, a lot of people will go to it. So the vendors will rise the price up a bit because that's how you're going to make money off a reprint. Generally, the reason why most reprints don't make money is because maybe they're not being played at the meta at the time, or maybe there's just too much supply and demand. But remember, this wasn't released in the Megatens for its year, or it wasn't released basically in like Battles of Legend, Life's Revenge. So there's not a super massive quantity of any Ghost Ogre in any of these, despite all the vendors. Because remember, this cheap, more accessible version is a promo. That being said, this is a card you clearly could have made money for. I saw people giving these away for just giving them away. Why would you ever give away Ghost Ogre? And you have to evaluate how good the card is, and it will be meta relevant later on. Now, some people are like, well, this is a hand trap. Understandable. It's going to have meta play for pretty much a long time, right? Okay, so I got you 2 more examples on this. Before ABC actually came to the TCG, let's see. Okay, so we had these 2 versions of Tsukiyomi, right? These 2 versions of Tsukiyomi shot up when ABC got released, or before they actually got released. When ABC got released, they stabilized. Obviously, they were at some crazy high prices, like 30, 40, but then they stabilized. That's where you could have made money from. You could have, if you just simply just kept some of these, you would have made money. A lot of money, actually. It's obviously, the reason why it's 75 cents now is because ABC, that time has passed, obviously, but the Mega Pack version, the Legacy Line version, even the Ulti were hitting $30, $25, and $15. But remember, Tsukiyomi is not like Ghost Ogre. It's not a hand trap. But it is played in light decks, and light and dark decks are very, very highly supported in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! They're the best types in the game. Also, we knew ABC was going to be released, so just simply having this reprint would have got you money. You didn't even have to have the Legacy of the Valiant version or the Ulti. You could have just had this one. That would have made you an instant 15 bucks. And people are going to be getting rid of this. So vendors will raise it up because they know people will instantly go to this Mega Pack version because it's the more accessible, more cheaper version. There you go. Now, it's obviously 20 cents now because of Battles of Legend. Another example, perfect example of how things work like that. Okay, so the Shatter Foil that goes to Emerald and the Secret Rare that goes to Emerald and this are generally always at the same price. When the Shatter Foil when the Shatter Foil got released, it stayed at 15. Then it was announced that Ghost to Emerald was going to get a reprint in the Premium Gold Infinite Gold, which is where you see right here. Now, when this card got released, it was where it is right now. Then it went down to 10. Then it went down to lowest. No, yeah, it went down to lowest 10, 8. You could probably get them for 7s before Zoo. Time Zoo comes out, this shoots up. People called it, oh, it's ugly, it's gold, it doesn't matter. Those people who said that are wrong, because what is the more accessible version? How would you make money off of it? It's right here. It's right here, all in front of your face. This was a reprint, meta reprint, not a hand trap. XYZ monster, people clearly used, generic, right there. So it really does depend on what the reprint is. People were giving these away for, oh my god, people gave these away at the locals I was going to. I was like, send them here. I had like 5 of these because people just gave them away, you know? So you really have to gauge what reprints will be used, and you also have to gauge the relevancy of these reprints. Now, even now, Zoo is still relevant until we obviously get a ban list. So you could have easily just keeping a bunch of these. Look at it. It was as low as $7. It went to 15. So that's 8, 16, 20. You get $24 just off gold cards, simple gold cards, and these are all reprints. These are all reprints. Okay, so some people are like, well, you didn't give too many examples. I'll give you one more example of this. Artifact Sanctum is a perfect example of this. Artifact Sanctum has always been, you know, that card that always seems to fluctuate in a lot of things in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? So we got it released in Prio. Before we had its reprint, these two were the only ones. They always jumped and jumped, but before this got announced, these two were staying at around 30 to 40. But before that 30 to 40 price point, because they had tanked before that 30 to 40 price point before we actually got this. Now, what was the more accessible version? This was. And this is a reprint. This was clearly $30 before this actually came into the picture. And artifacts were clearly used. And these are only 2 prints. This was $6 for a while, then it shut up, and then, like I said before, the reprint kicked in. But yeah, this was a clear reprint that clearly held its value. Even stuff in the Megatins will clearly hold value if it has meta relevancy moving forward. Now the same logic could apply to Pot of Desires. So let's look at Pot of Desires, right? Pot of Desires. Pot of Desires, okay? So here's Pot of Desires. Right now, you clearly have the Megatin version out of stock at the time of me recording this video, right? So what would be the other likely chances of people not getting this? Want to know why? It's a more accessible version. Not a lot of people are going to go to this. Lots and lots of people are going to go to this promo. See what I mean? So that's been the guest upload. That's how you can make money off your reprints. If you have some of these nice meta relevant reprints that Konami reprints to the mass public, keep a couple of them. Don't just trade them off. They're not always all that bad. Keep meta relevant reprints. Don't keep like your Runai's Pendulum Dragons. I don't want to see all that. I want to see you guys keep your reprints, make a little bit of money off of them, and then obviously trade for stuff you need. If you have these reprints, if you have vendors in your area, they'll eat these up. They'll eat these up. Yeah, and the next one is definitely this one. If this starts at $2, pick them up. Because it's gonna get released, it's gonna have a price, and then people will realize, oh, a lot of people have it, and then it's gonna go down. So when it goes down to its absolute lowest point you see it at, just buy them. It's not gonna hurt you. This is a great card. It would only benefit you more buying. And then if you have these reprints, because some people just don't care about what rarity and what set it's from. Some people just want the card, and that's where the reprint comes in for the money. Thank you, Shirt, for the guest upload. If you want to come see me and all of my glory and all of that swag, come join Master Swag King. I'm almost to 700. My goal is definitely 1,000 subscribers. I am constantly growing every day. I upload every single day. How crazy is that? How crazy am I to talk about a children's card game every single day? I work, I gym, and I make Yu-Gi-Oh videos every single day. Like I said, superhero videos will be on Saturday, just once a week. I don't spam the channel with them, obviously, but if you want to come see me, my channel link will be in the description box below. Thank you, Shirt, and Shirt staying banned. And as I say, Dapper the win. Woo! See you guys later. Bye.